Yeah. Hi, everyone. This is Varsha Suresh. I'm with FOS. I'm a fairly new employee, and I look forward to meeting you all eventually. So, going right in, next slide. So, developing and maintaining the conservation actions and measures library has been an explicit part of CMP's plan. If you can hit next, you'll see the orange arrow point to the activity bubble that shows that this was part of goal 2, which is to enable cross-project learning. So CAML 1.0 was launched back in 2015, but quite frankly hasn't had too much attention since then. And so over the last 6 months, as a part of my internship with FOS, I've been working with the CAML team to create CAML 2.0, which will be launched this October. And today I wanted to give you a little preview into what the new CAML looks like via an intro video that's still in its draft stages. Next slide.
Conservation Measures Partnership, Foundations of Success, and Marathi Software bring to you a new and improved Conservation Actions and Measures Library. CAML is an oasis of knowledge designed to help you develop more effective conservation strategies. The foundation of any science is a common taxonomy. Think of medicine and how we've classified diseases and their globally accepted courses for treatment. Consider the animal kingdom and how we've classified species to great specificity to better understand what's out there. Naming something helps us understand it, learn from it, and share our ideas with others while speaking a common language. CMP has classified conservation actions, taking stock of common strategies used by organizations worldwide and collecting evidence on what works along the way. When we're aware of all of our options, we can better choose the interventions that will be best suited for our conservation context. This taxonomy of actions allows us to continue building a robust evidence base and share and learn from one another as we implement. We've taken this taxonomy and turned it into a tool, a set of generic recipes for effective conservation, or CAML. No, not that CAML, this CAML. This CAML uses the Conservation Actions taxonomy to build the Conservation Actions and Measures library. CAML is a library of common actions and measurements used globally by conservationists. To get a better taste of what CAML looks like and what it can do, let's imagine cooking from a new recipe together. Put your chef's hat on for a moment and imagine searching for a new recipe. You might open your grandma's recipe book or go online and search for the ideal recipe that someone else has already perfected. The online library gives you a general recipe or template to choose from and build upon. Instead of wondering where to start, you use the recipe to get the basic ingredients together and start cooking your own generic chili. But you don't stop there. You add in the ingredients that are most relevant to your taste or the context of your kitchen, turning the generic chili into CAML's famous chili. We search for recipes for many things. Those in the medical field use globally accepted treatment guidelines to combat diseases. CAML will lead you to generic recipes or templates for all of the standard conservation actions found in this classification. These recipes are in the form of results chains, the diagrams that we use to represent theories of change. CAML gives you access to the anticipated intermediate results, threat reduction results, conservation targets, and human well-being targets resulting from the common conservation action or strategy. Here's an example of a generic conservation action recipe, or template, for action 4.1 in the taxonomy. This can then be specified to focus on whatever your conservation context requires, from protecting elephants and reducing poaching, to guarding sea turtle nests to reduce egg collection and increase turtle populations.
So if you go to the next slide, I'd like to show you the draft template of what the CAML landing page will look like. This will be launched in October. So the website has been designed in a manner that it allows all categories of audiences to easily access everything that CAML has to offer, like people who are coming in to view the theories of change and use it for their projects, as well as people who are CAML curious and want to learn more about CAML. If you hit next, you can see that there's a little about CAML on the right-hand side. And then finally, people who wish to contribute to CAML, and then they can see the contribute page. If you click next, then you'll see what the contribute page would look like. And then you can see the 3 different ways in which people can either contribute to existing chains as well as contribute new chains. Then moving on, Parallelly, along with working on CAML, we're also working on launching this new series in the Society for Conservation Biology, and we hope to have about 4 papers a year, where each paper would contain the key elements that you can see to the right-hand side of this slide. And then the results of this will also be published in CAML. Wrapping up, next slide, the next steps. So we are hoping to relaunch CAML on October 13th as a part of the Collaboration for Environmental Evidence Summit web series, and parallelly also launch this new series in the Conservation Science and Practice journal, for which we look forward to any contributions. You can refer to the previous slide to see what the key elements of a contribution would look like, and also you can feel free to reach out to us to know more about that. Once the website is ready and launched, all the links to contribute to these different parts will be available to you. And then finally, looking more closely at the CAML entries themselves, there are many actions for which we are still looking for examples as well as entries. So if you could go into the tracking sheet on the blue bubble, you'll see what the current status of each of these actions are. And if you feel that you might have an example for any of these entries, you can feel free to reach out to us through the email ID present on the blue bubble. And yeah, Nick, if you have anything to add, otherwise that's it. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Varsha. That was really cool and exciting to see, and I know everyone appreciated the CAML graphic as well. I love it when people embrace their acronyms. If there aren't any general questions, there's a lot going on in the chat. So do follow up with Varsha if you want to get involved. And we're going to be moving.